Welcome. Today we're opening a stack of really fascinating sources, things that challenge, well, maybe everything we thought we knew about the animal kingdom.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
diving deep into compassion, empathy, sheer heroism where you'd least expect it.
That's right. For generations, we've sort of boiled animal behavior down to survival of the fittest, right? The cold math of genetics. But our sources today, they tell a much, much richer story. Our mission, really, is to explore concrete, documented evidence of animal altruism.
Okay.
Moving beyond just, single anecdotes to look at everything from these dramatic, life-saving moments in the wild
Uh-huh.
to some really groundbreaking scientific findings on, like, long-term cooperation, even outside of families.
So the big question we're tackling is pretty fundamental. When a predator saves its natural prey or, when animals work together to help a totally different species, is that just a glitch, like a momentary mistake in the system?
Right, or does it point to something deeper?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Does it show really complex social, maybe even emotional structure that we're only just, beginning to grasp? Let's unpack this stuff.
Yeah.
Starting where the actions are maybe the most shocking. When the food chain seems to just completely break down.
Yeah, let's start there. The most unbelievable scenario, predator and its potential prey. We've got this astonishing sequence involving a lioness and a baby wildebeest.
Right, and normally you expect that encounter to be, well, quick,
Brutal.
brutal.
Totally predictable. Wildebeest are, a staple food for lions.
But the footage, it shows something totally different.
Completely. The lioness catches the calf, sure, but then instead of the kill, she seems to soften.
Soften. How?
She's filmed right next to the baby, gently nudging it, even caressing it with her snout.
Wow, that alone is confusing.
It is. But what happens next really raises the stakes.
Okay.
So a second lioness shows up, clearly motivated, ready for an easy meal.
Oh, no.
But the first lioness actively, quite aggressively, prevents her from grabbing the calf.
She stops the other lion.
Yes. She shifts from predator to protector in, like, a split second. It's not just odd. It suggests maybe a powerful maternal or protective instinct got triggered.
An instinct that just overrode the predatory drive.
It seems like it. The impulse to nurture just outweighed the impulse to hunt in that moment. It's incredible.
And this isn't just some one-off thing with lions, is it? Our sources mention something similar with a leopard.
That's right. A leopard which had already killed an adult baboon, likely the baby's mother, actually.
Okay.
But then it encounters the distressed baby baboon, an infant.
And what does the leopard do?
Well, its response doesn't seem like confusion. It seems like a deliberate decision to secure the infant. It gently takes this tiny baby into its mouth.
Gently, the same mouth adjust.
Exactly. The same mouth. And it carries it off to a safer spot.
Okay, but how do we know it wasn't just confused by the smell? Or maybe treating it like a weird toy?
That's a fair question. But the actions that follow sort of clarify the intent.
Like what?
Well, once the baby is dropped safely, a hyena approaches.
Ah, competitor.
Right. And the leopard confronts the hyena, growls, drives it away. That act, confronting a rival to secure the area, really points towards protective custody.
So it wasn't just moving it, it was guarding it.
Seems that way. And then it stays with the baby for quite a while, licking it, providing warmth, mimicking, caregiving behavior.
It sounds like the baby's vulnerability just flipped a switch in the leopard.
That's what it looks like. It overrides that typical predator-prey calculation.
Sometimes the rescuer is huge,
Yeah.
and the rescued is tiny. I'm thinking about that really strange one, the bear and the crow.
Oh, yeah, that one's fascinating because of the sheer effort involved for something that offers, like, zero biological return for the bear.
So what happened?
A bear finds a crow drowning in a pond,
Okay.
and the bear uses its mouth very carefully. It seems to pull the crow out of the water. It grips one wing gently, pulls it onto dry land.
And then eats it.
No, that's the critical detail, the thing that tells us it's a rescue, not just delaying dinner. The bear immediately ignores the crow, just drops it, turns around, and goes back to eating its own food nearby.
So it wasn't hungry for the bird, it just saw something in distress and acted.
Exactly. Just responded to the distress. It's pretty amazing, especially from an animal we usually think of as solitary. Unexpected kindness.
Okay, so moving beyond these surprising acts by predators, let's look at species known for being more social, more intelligent. Primates, herds.
Right. Animals where you might expect more complex behavior. And they deliver. showing these rapid, coordinated rescues in pretty high-stakes situations.
Primates, especially. They show some advanced social strategies. We've got sources talking about groups of baboons stepping in against huge predators.
Yeah, cheetahs and leopards.
To save prey that isn't even one of their own.
Exactly. The baboons will actually confront and chase off these big cats. That's incredibly risky for them.
Hugely risky.
And the critical part is they don't just save themselves and run. Afterwards, they're filmed checking on the injured antelope they just saved.
Checking on it.
Yeah. It points towards a kind of solidarity that goes beyond just family. Maybe a conscious decision to, minimize suffering in their shared space.
Wow. But maybe the peak of primate care is that story from India, the railway resuscitation.
Oh, that one's intense. You've got a monkey, electrocuted, unconscious, lying on high-tension railway wires.
A terrible situation.
And another monkey immediately sees how bad it is.
And what does it do?
The footage is just gripping. The rescuer tries again and again to revive the victim, doesn't give up.
How does it try?
It bites the victim, maybe trying to stimulate it, and eventually it dunks the unconscious monkey into a nearby water source.
Like first aid?
It really resembles human first aid attempts. It keeps doing this until finally the electrocuted monkey starts to revive.
That level of persistence.
Yeah.
It suggests more than just instinct, doesn't it?
Right,
Like it understood what needed to happen.
It really seems like it, a powerful drive to restore consciousness.
And this kind of high-level care, it's not just primates. Elephants are famous for cooperation and family bonds.
Oh, absolutely. Elephants are textbook examples of coordination.
Yeah.
We have tons of accounts of adult elephants rushing into dangerous water.
Right, to save drowning calves.
Yeah, swimming through really strong currents, sometimes just to bring them back to safety. It's amazing teamwork.
That protective barricade they form is also really striking. You described a situation. The calf falls, can't get up, it's exposed, and lions are approaching.
Yeah, terrifying. But the herd doesn't scatter. They form this tight, impenetrable circle around the calf, a barricade.
Wow.
Exactly. The sources describe the adults just desperately working together, and there's this one powerful moment where an adult uses its trunk with amazing precision and force.
To do what?
To flip the baby back onto its feet and just gets it right up.
That kind of coordinated defense,
Yeah.
that's complex thinking. Understanding physics, timing, working as a unit.
Pure, high-level, life-saving cooperation. It's incredible to witness.
Okay, let's shift slightly. Let's spotlight some unexpected allies. Heroes from land and water who might be driven by slightly different things.
Yeah.
Maybe left pure altruism, more dislike for a common enemy.
Right. This brings us to hippos. Now, hippos are known to frequently intervene against crocodiles.
Right.
They often help prey animals like wildebeest, and zebras escape when a croc attacks.
So the hippo is saving the zebra.
Well, yes, that's the outcome. But we can't really say the hippo cares about the zebra, The thinking is it's more about territory. Hippos fiercely defend their stretch of water, and they seem to have a particular dislike, a real antagonism towards crocodiles in their space.
So the rescue isn't necessarily sympathy for the zebra, but more like, get out of my pool, crocodile.
That's a really key analytical point, yeah. The motivation might be anti-crocodile sentiment, but the result, the observable benefit, is a successful rescue for the zebra or wildebeest.
The outcome is still altruistic, even if the driver is territorial defense. Interesting.
Exactly. And then there's the pig, the swimming pig.
Right. I remember this one. A baby goat is drowning.
Yeah, and this pig just swims across the water, rescues the goat, guides it back to safety.
It kind of proves pigs can swim, for one thing.
Yeah, it definitely does that. But it also shows that sometimes animals we don't associate with, high intelligence or aquatic skill will still use whatever they've got to help another creature in distress.
And there are marine examples, too.
Oh, yeah. Dolphins, of course. They're known for intelligence and social bonds. There's a recorded case of a dolphin helping a dog.
Helping a dog.
Apparently, a shark was in the area, threatening the dog. The dolphin let the dog ride on its back to get away to safety.
A dolphin giving a dog a ride away from a shark.
Yeah.
That's cinematic.
Isn't it? And you also mentioned a Labrador retrieving a little bird from water. Domestic animals get in on the act, too.
Okay, so all these stories, these dramatic one-off rescues, they're incredible. They prove empathy or something like it can just switch off instinct for a moment.
Right.
But that leads to the really critical scientific question. Are these just fleeting moments? Or can animals actually sustain these kinds of complex, supportive relationships over time.
And this takes us right into the core of our deep dive today, a really groundbreaking study from Columbia University researchers
Right.
looking at African starlings. And this research fundamentally challenges a long-held evolutionary idea
Which is?
that complex, sustained cooperation between non-relatives was basically unique to humans.
Okay, let's unpack this carefully, because this pushes against basic kin selection theory, right? Animals help family because it boosts shared genes.
Exactly. Kin selection is well understood.
But this study confirmed long-term reciprocal helping behavior, their words, even among birds who weren't directly related at all.
Precisely. They were looking for reciprocity, the idea of helping someone with a sort of understanding that the favor might be returned later.
Like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, but for birds.
Basically, yeah. And proving that in a non-human species is incredibly difficult. You have to rule out everything else.
So how did they know these birds weren't just like distant cousins? What made this take 20 years of research?
That's the crucial analytical point. It wasn't quick. It needed tracking thousands of specific social interactions over 40 breeding seasons.
40 seasons? Wow.
Yeah, and combined with really rigorous genetic testing on the birds involved, they had to know exactly who helped whom and then check their precise genetic relationship.
So they could be absolutely sure if they were related or not.
Exactly. And the data showed, yes, starlings definitely helped relatives more often, as you'd expect, but they also consistently and frequently helped specific non-relative birds.
Specific ones, not just random acts of kindness.
Specific non-relatives, even when close relatives were right there and also needed help.
So the birds weren't just being generally nice. They were actively building and maintaining social relationships, friendships essentially, over years.
That's what it points to. The researchers concluded these birds were making costly investments, time, energy, towards specific, unrelated individuals, expecting future returns.
That sustained non-kin cooperation.
Yeah.
That's the mark of a complex society.
It really is. The data basically forced the lead researcher to say that many of these birds are essentially forming friendships over time.
That phrase, forming friendships, brings the science right back to the emotional side, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It confirms what we see in all those stories of animals forming lasting bonds.
It really does.
So let's finish by tying that science back to some memorable examples of these long-term, often interspecies companionships.
Yeah, let's connect the reciprocity science back to these heartwarming, observable bonds, like the famous story of the Black Panther.
Rescued from a zoo.
Yeah, rescued from awful conditions and basically raised by a Rottweiler who acted as a mother figure.
And they stayed friends.
That bond became so strong, years later they remained completely inseparable.
We also see just persistence paying off in relationships, like that cat story.
Oh, right, the cat whose best friend died and the owner gets a new kitten.
And the original cat hates the kitten initially.
Yeah.
Hissing, avoiding.
Yeah, totally rejected it. But the little kitten just kept trying, kept pushing, wanting to be friends.
And eventually.
Eventually it worked. The older cat gave in and they became inseparable, always cuddling. Social persistence won out.
It shows relationships take work, even for animals. And sometimes shared vulnerability creates bonds.
Absolutely. That's another powerful driver. Think of Lundy the Chihuahua couldn't walk and Herman the pigeon couldn't fly.
Oh, I remember seeing pictures of them. So sweet.
They formed this incredibly profound bond and became best friends really because of their shared physical limitations.
Needing each other.
Yeah, it's a common theme. Shared challenges often necessitate relying on one another, and that builds connection.
And finally, that really beautiful story about Levi, the blind American bully.
Yeah, Levi was initially very intolerant of other dogs, probably felt vulnerable because he couldn't see.
Understandable.
But then a rescue group carefully introduced him to Jack, another American bully puppy, also blind.
Another blind dog.
Yes. And after that careful introduction, Levi didn't just tolerate Jack. He grew deeply attached.
They bonded over their shared experience.
It seems so. Within months, these two blind brothers became the best of friends, finding comfort and security, perhaps, in their mirrored experiences.
These stories just underline that animals have social needs way beyond just mating and territory, don't they?
Absolutely. They seek companionship, comfort, reciprocal support, and they can find it even across the species barrier.
So recapping quickly, we've seen predator empathy that can override hunger, incredible high-stakes cooperation in primates and herds, and now actual scientific proof of long-term non-kin friendships in birds. It really seems like kindness, or at least cooperation, is a fundamental part of the animal kingdom.
It does. And the sources suggest maybe we humans find these stories so compelling because they challenge our own sort of human-centric view. They offer this comforting mirror.
Like if they can do it?
Right. If they can extend kindness and cooperation across species lines, maybe we can too. These acts definitely prove animal societies are far more complex, far more organized than just simple family units fighting for resources.
Absolutely. It shows we're all interconnected in ways we're maybe just starting to understand. So if reciprocal helping, these friendships, are common and sustained in animal societies, as that Starling study suggests, that leaves us with a provocative thought for you, the listener. Does the act of giving help and forming that bond require conscious, abstract intent like we think of human friendship? Or is the sheer observable benefit of that cooperative bond enough to sustain it even across species?
That's a deep question, intent versus outcome.
Yeah. What are you going to observe differently in the animals around you today after hearing all this?